Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate y'all tuning into the Sizzle News Podcast tonight. It's basketball. It's a round ball tonight, whatever you want to call it. We're talking hoops. You know what I'm saying? Georgia Tech fans, you tapping in. We will be talking most Sizzle commitment and a lot more. And so I'm not going to take up too much of your time for bringing on my co-host, Mr. Najeh Wilkins, the star, and the man of the hour. How you doing today, King?
What's going on, man?
I'm good. How about you?
Doing good. Can't complain, man. How's everything?
Everything's smooth, man. I was downstairs doing a little plumbing work, you know what I'm saying? You gotta use your hands for something other than just, you know what I'm saying, pumping that iron, you know what I mean? Was turning wrenches, turning that iron today, man. But everything's smooth, man. Just blessed to be here, man.
Yes, sir, man. Yeah, like you said, we got great topics to talk about tonight. Obviously, we'll get into some Georgia Tech basketball. We'll be talking a little bit about everything, man. So, Bacon did a really good job with these topics, man, and can't wait to break it down with him. Obviously, you guys missed our show. Go back on Tuesday. Talking about everything with football. This is a Hoops podcast, man. So we're excited to talk about the latest in hoops.
There we are, man. We're going to get right into the biggest topic of the night. Mohamed Silla, 4-star, 95 overall rating on 247, has committed to the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, man. I'm starting with you, brother. I'm saying, what was your thoughts? You know what I'm saying? Did you see this coming or no?
Yeah, I did a so for those that don't know, that obviously is on the channel. Y'all seen it. I did a video on it. I previewed it obviously before. I didn't say he was gonna go to Tech, but I was talking about him as a prospect, and everything. So obviously you can check out that video. I just did a reaction video right before we came on, probably about 45 minutes to an hour before, just talking about him as a prospect and what he could bring. I think my biggest takeaway, Bacon, is you can say what you want about Coach Damon Stoudemire and the team not looking good this year, and we could talk about that also as well. But he's doing an excellent job recruiting. That's one thing you cannot take away from him, the job that he's doing recruiting and bringing in these top prospects. When you look at the class of 2025 in its totality, the Kai Fleming, the Eric Chatfield, the Cole Kurok, the Brandon Storrs, 2 of those 5 guys are McDonald's All-American nominees. You know what I'm saying? So you're getting high-end talent to come in here and you're trying to fill needs for your basketball program, right? And obviously there's going to be some tough decisions that have to be made after the season because you got about 4 or 5 guys coming in with this class. Some guys might have to redshirt when you look at everything, but you only get a certain amount of spots. I think it's maybe 13 spots you might get per team, at most 15. You know what I'm saying? So it's obviously tough decisions that have to be made after the year, but I mean, you can't say that he's not an elite recruiter. And then you look at 2026 when Mustafa Job, he's the top guy. Like he's like number 2 in that 2026 class. So I don't think Coach Stoudemire is done yet. I think he's still adding to that roster. And you got to commend him. I think as he continues to get the guys that he wants in the program, they're going to be better and better.
Definitely. I think it's interesting, right? You know what I'm saying? Bringing in Mo Silla, stop a job. So, you know what I'm saying? And Baden Dungo he's a sophomore right now. So
young.
So, you know what I'm saying? If he stays, which will probably leave after his junior, but if he stays, that's an interesting dynamic of a front court that you have, you know what I'm saying, with those 3. Also, you know what I'm saying, well, Lou Diem, also 2026. But back to Mo, man, per my sources, man, I kind of, from what I was hearing, I'm not surprised, you know what I'm saying, really like Tech. I believe I put it in my article that I put out probably 3 weeks ago now. His mom was real high on him getting great academics. And out of his top 3, you know, Oregon, Arkansas, and Georgia Tech, you know, no disrespect to the other teams, but, you know what I'm saying, Georgia Tech was by far the superior academic school. And then with Coach Damon Stoudemire's building, it was kind of like a no-brainer, but, you know what I'm saying, you got to wait until the official word is made. So, but, yeah, shout out to Lou, man. So, you just talked about the 5 recruits, adding now 6 with Mo. You know, who do you like out of the class right now? Just give me your favorite 3. You know what I'm saying? We'll keep it at that.
I got to go see Kai Fleming in person. I'm going to definitely try to do that. Obviously, before it's said and done, and he ends his high school career, obviously played with the Cohorts. Not having the best season, 1-11, I think, so far, but want to see him up close and personal. But I say Eric Chatfield. That's another one I want to be able to see up close and personal. His speed, his ability to get north and south, how fast and tempo he handles the basketball. I'm excited to see him. Kind of Kai might be that guy that plays off him, right? We're seeing that right now with Mustafa and Nate George kind of is the point guard, them 2 in the same backcourt now. That could be the future backcourt with those 2, Chatfield and then Fleming potentially. Fleming might be more of a scoring type of guard on the next level at the shooting guard. Somebody could put on that can fill it up, similar to Javion McCullum, but could be even potentially better in my humble opinion. So those would be two I'm excited for. Definitely excited for Brandon Stores. That's another one. I think long wing that could just do a whole bunch of different things. Very versatile. Could defend at a high level. I really like him. And I think the key with the big men is, can they give quality minutes? No disrespect. Go look at that game the other night, right? Clemson. They was in it practically the whole time. Credit them for their fight. They big man production, 0 points, Bacon, and 8 rebounds. No disrespect to Ryan Mutombo. No disrespect to Ibrahim Soare. That's not going to get it done. Like, they have no big outside of Bay Ndongo. That is the biggest area of need right now for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket basketball program. I know they're dealing with injuries. Kawasi Reed's been out for 12 games. I know O'Brien's been out for 7 games. Lance Terry missed that game as well, but they're not getting enough production. Outside of Bay Ndongo, the production is very limited.
That's true. Injuries has definitely played this team, so I agree with you, man. Big man, it's a major need for this team. But I agree with you, man. Brandon Stores, I'll say outside of Akai, Akai is just an assassin. What I'm saying, kind of got that Bradley Beal type of vibe to him. What I'm saying, can go get a bucket, and I think this year at OTE really it's slowed him down. What I'm saying, where he knows where the pick his spots. Not to say he's a pick his spot type of player, but when you're playing with different alphas, you just got to know when to go, when to share the ball. But 22 points on 73% shooting, that just lets you know what type of player he is. But I think Brandon Stores, he's the most intriguing prospect to me. Somebody out of the Bronx, you're hurt. Who can really get to a bucket, man. Got like a Carmelo Anthony type of game. That's just New York type of brand. So you see Ian Jackson kind of doing the same thing, really working out a triple threat. So he's my most interesting prospect. And what I'm saying, the Burger Boys. Let's talk about the Burger Boys. Akai and Brandon Stars are the Burger Boys. They're nominees right now. Hopefully they both make it. Both elite bucket getters, and that's what you want to see in the All-Star game, with just two dynamic or just scorers. A couple bigs that can be versatile, just kind of get to a bucket, man. So when you saw the news break, it broke really last night. I'm saying, when you saw that news, man, just what did you think? Do you feel like Cole Kurok should have made it, or anybody else? Mo?
I'm not gonna lie, I liked it. I liked that those two made it. I thought they were well deserving. I think they're some of the best of the best. Other guys are really good, but I think those two definitely deserved it.
I agree with you there. Yeah, like I said, man, there's two dynamic scores, man. Shout out to them for making it. Hopefully it turns into actual invites, not just nominations, man. We want to see those young men go crazy, get a little McDonald's bag. But also some more other news that came out. I believe it broke Monday, if I'm not mistaken, Monday or Tuesday. Jalen Wingfield, what I'm saying, a South Georgia boy, born and bred, NBA pedigree. His father played in the NBA by way of Cincinnati. What I'm saying, I think it was a 3rd round pick, his father. But dropped his top 10. Again, brother, the floor is yours, man. Just give me your thoughts, give me the breakdown.
Yeah, man, I think he's an elite prospect. Again, like I said, the kind of constant theme with Georgia Tech being in the recruitments of elite players, right? This is another one. It's a top 75 overall recruit. In an article I wrote about him, or I talked about him, I talked about his ability to go up against Caleb Wilson, right? Yes, did he lose some of the battles? For sure, right? But what do we always see when you talk about Bacon? When you are a top-end prospect, not shying away from the matchup. Now, say what you want, right? Caleb was getting his buckets. Caleb was doing what he was doing. But I seen Jalen Wingfield take the challenge. I seen Jalen Wingfield put the ball on the floor, right? I seen him go to the rim and attack Caleb. That's what you want to see. Don't shy away from the matchup, because these are guys you're going to play at the next level. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate his game. I think he's going to still fine-tune different things. And that's the scary part. He's just scratching the surface of his potential. He's not even close to being there yet. And he leads the team in blocks this year with 2. He's the second leading scorer outside of their next great guard, Trey Keith. So he's doing a little bit of everything for that Tri-Cities team. And, quiet as the kept, I know they lost to, obviously, Caleb and them. That's still a contender when you look at 5A and what Tri-Cities can do. So, you know what I'm saying? I think he's a phenomenal player. I think he can add a lot to the collegiate program. And I can't wait to see what he develops into.
Right there again, I agree with you again, brother. I mean, you know the game of basketball, so it's no surprise that we're not splitting hairs here. Just defender, right? Something we possibly see, maybe not as elite as Caleb Wilson, but a defender kind of like a Kevin Durant, somebody who's gonna get off-ball blocks and be a dog in the paint, grab rebounds. Really likes to score, like you said, out of the paint. Triple threat. Kind of big man or mid-sized guards, and definitely abuse some a smaller guard in the paint for barbecue chicken. But got a nice smooth jump shot. Knows how to get to his spots. So the sky's the limit. Past the skies, past the stars is the limit for this young man. It's going to be interesting to see where he falls. If you missed out, I believe his top 10 consists of South Carolina, Auburn, Cincinnati, of course, Georgia Tech, Georgia, Mississippi State, Virginia Tech, and it's one Ole Miss. I believe that's all of them. Ole Miss. So, we're going to keep our fingers crossed and hope, Coach Stoudemire can pull off another spectacular get for the 2026 Georgia Tech class that is looking very nice. All right. So that'll conclude any Georgia Tech news. That'll conclude all the Georgia Tech news, unless my co-host Najee Wilkins has anything to say. Najee Wilkins. Excuse me.
Let me think. Yeah, that's mainly it. Obviously, we talked about the basketball team, still figuring some things out. But yeah, I think they do a great job. And like I said, I wouldn't lose hope. I know a lot of fans are kind of on edge about it, but I say if they keep doing what they're able to do, they'll be just fine. It's just getting healthy, getting the guys back. This could be a season where it's a little tough, but the coach doing a phenomenal job.
100%. And we're gonna stay on Tech right now. We're gonna super serve our fans right now because we appreciate all the Tech fans that are tuned in right now and getting this good game. We're gonna talk about the girls, man. I haven't seen or heard of any news about Danny. I did see an article that said that it's a hamstring injury, which it would be a sigh of relief that it's not a knee injury, but I haven't seen anything official. But nonetheless, lost a tough game to the number 3 team in the college women's basketball. I know you did an article on it, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm saying, what did you see in that game? How did they handle Hannah? And how did they handle that raucous environment up there in Notre Dame?
They're actually playing right now, to be honest with you. I seen an update actually earlier. They were down at the half by 3. They actually just lost a third consecutive loss, 81-66, but they were just playing. I think they just wrapped up. A tough one, I would say, nonetheless. Sonia Crichton, she led them in scoring with 21 points in that one. And Maddie Westbeld, she had 20 points in that game. But yeah, just the scoring. Obviously, you could tell they missed Danny Carnegie. She didn't play in that one. Cara Dunn led them with 21 points in that one. But the key stat to watch for, Georgia Tech struggling shooting from the field. 8 from 30 from 3 and 26-69 from the field, just 37.7%. And get this, double the boards count for Notre Dame against Georgia Tech, 50-25.
Yeah, that's a big difference. They kill you on the glass like that. It's not going to be a good game, and especially if you're not shooting the ball well. I'm trying to see how many Hannah had. Starters, bench. Did she not play? I don't think she played. I see Liza, Maddie, Olivia. I don't see her name on here. That is crazy. But yeah, man, if they lost to her without Hannah, I mean, we all know what type of star Danny is, man. You know what I'm saying? But if Hannah didn't play, they lost like that. But for them to be down 3 at halftime, that just speaks a lot to their fight. But maybe that's what they'll need going forward in the recruiting cycle, is somebody who come in and get on the glass. They got Michaela Taylor, who's committed 2025 class. So, she's doing her thing in Fairburn, Georgia at Langston Hughes. So she can definitely get to a rebound. So that's gonna be big, So, Coach Nell Fortner, she's a good recruiter. She talks about heavily at Media Day of recruiting her state. So that's what she kind of did at Tennessee, and that's what I expect her to do here in Georgia. So tough loss, third straight loss, but nonetheless, I think this team will be fine. Taking those bumps, get healthy again. We'll see the outcome of Danny Carnegie's her injury, but we'll hope for the best. But we will move on to high school basketball in the peach state of Georgia. We're gonna start with let's see. We're gonna start with actually the Judge Clyde Reese. The showcase is happening at Pace Academy. I'll share my screen. That's happening at Pace Academy this weekend. It's a banger of an event, annual event. I think it's Naj, you know how long this event has been going on?
I do not. Unfortunately, hold on, I'm gonna share the screen with y'all. I did not know how long it's been going on. I looked up details for it, Bacon. I didn't really see a yearly thing. Usually they'd be like, okay, 12th, 13th year. But I think it's a great event. Obviously, they put it on, Bacon. I'll let you explain about it a little bit more. But I think it's just, probably an event that happened or something happened. And obviously, they're playing for change and trying to be impactful with it. But I throw it to you.
Yeah, 100%. I know this event went on last year for sure. But to your point, didn't see any news on it. But Judge Clyde Reese is a Pace Academy alumni. Did this thing in the area, before he passed away. Or did he pass away? I think he has passed away for sure. And just fighting for change. So I'm sure all the proceeds to the door will go to a greater cause beyond us. But at 11:30, the Pace Academy girls will take on Wanda Grove. That's a very good matchup. Tucker High School will take on the Baldwin boys. The Baldwin High School also has a very elite girls team. So this would be a good time to see what the Baldwin boys are made of. At the 2:30 game, Decatur will take on Green Forest. I believe I said this on this. I believe I said this on the podcast. They got some elite wings, known for just having length. So we'll see if Decatur can match up against that elite talent and length that Green Forest has at 2:30. At 4:30, at the game before the big one, you got Kell's boys versus Woodward Academy. We know Woodward Academy has some elite guards as well. Kell, also a formidable top 10 team in 5A. Woodward, I believe, is top 6, if I'm not mistaken. And for the main event at 5:30 p.m. in the evening, Pace Academy versus the McEachern Indians.
Oh, you got one more, twin. You got to go down. You got one at 7.
Oh, excuse me. I got my screen cut off. Appreciate that, brother.
Of course.
Main event. Main event is 7:30. At 7 o'clock. Wheeler versus Newton. You know what I mean? That's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be another test for Newton. Last weekend, I believe they lost to Grayson. But Wheeler's gonna be another team that's gonna be just as good, that they're gonna see in the playoffs, and that they're gonna have the team that they're gonna have to beat if they want to get to their goal, which is the Georgia State Championship. Can Newton beat Wheeler? It's gonna be a tough game. Wheeler likes to execute in the half-court offense. Newton kind of the same way, though both teams can run in transition. It's gonna come down to really, really execution, making shots, and rebounding the basketball. But I think I like Wheeler here. And in the game before the main event, McEachern's been doing some good things.
Hey, talented, bro.
They talented.
They talented. Hey, I'm telling you, McEachern, you sleep on them, they're gonna be that team. Oh, they made the Final Four. Like, yeah.
Nah, they're gonna contend for a championship. I believe that.
Yeah, man. They like that. That's why I said that one's gonna be a real good contest, is to see who can come out on top, who can perform at a high level. To be humbly with you, man. And I think it's gonna be must-see TV seeing those two. To your point with the Kell and Woodward, obviously great guard play. You know it better than me, Bacon. You've seen him up close and personal. We was impressed with Zach Foster on the AAU circuit. Kell, man, they got that kid Connor Stalferis. I think he's the best shooter in high school ball here in the Peach State. Nobody's going to talk about him, but he does an outstanding job, man. I think he's shooting at a 50% clip almost this year. But what he's been able to do. So that's going to be interesting between those two. Really good guard play from both. And Kell, with their head coach Jermaine Sellers, they're always a competitive team, whether they're talented or they don't have talent, they lose talent. So credit them for that. The Pace game, I really want to see Eric Chatfield up close and personal for the first time. So that one will be kind of exciting to see what they're able to do. The Indians, Christian Curl, Chase Lumpkin, JD Palm back in the fray. They very deep, got a lot of talent on the back end. And then Pace is another team. Like, they don't just have, Chatfield. They got Chandler Bean. They got Bentley Luiscano, Breland Craft. Like, they talented too. Wheeler, I don't know, man. Coach Thompson was on them boys. They barely squeaked by Etowah recently, 81-77. And he said they played uninspired basketball. Now, very talented, but that's another team like Wheeler. I think Coach Thompson does a great job. Bacon, they got to make sure that they do what they're supposed to do. When you start overlooking teams, and I'm not saying they are, but you got to bring it every night. Because if you don't bring it every night, that's how you get upset. That's how you lose, close games like the Etowah, even though you're way more talented than them. That's how that happens. So Newton definitely got a shot. If you will it, you got to lock in. When you lock in, you're one of the best teams in the country. You know what I'm saying? Humbly. You know what I'm saying? I don't say that lightly. I think they're top 30 team in the country when they play their best basketball. But you got to do it every night. You know what I'm saying? You got to handle your business. So that'll be another exciting one to see what they're able to do.
Nah, I agree, brother. Etowah, though a top 10 team in 6A, man, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna play, and that's the difference, you know what I'm saying? That's no shade at Wheeler at all. I'm just keeping it the buck. You know what I'm saying? When you play teams, you know, that you're supposed to beat, even though Etowah is better town, you can take time off. Etowah is just that team. They got the mentality. We're coming in every night, especially against a team like Wheeler. We're the underdogs. Let's just go in and play our brand of basketball. Let's execute and do everything right as I usually do. So I agree with you, man. They probably came in and played some uninspired basketball, like you talked to coach, and I'm gonna get back to that. But I'm gonna say this: I like pace against McEachern just because they're at home. You know what I'm saying? We're playing in front of that crowd, some home cooking, but McEachern is very talented. But so what other information did you get off coach, man? You talked to him for, you know what I'm saying, for a little while. Was it quick? Or did you give him like 30 minutes? What else did he tell you?
Yeah, man. So I had him on the show. Obviously, you guys know I work with Score Atlanta, so I do a show from 12 to 1 in studio. We had him in, and I really appreciate Coach Thompson. We'll talk about another topic that pertains to a former player of theirs that was super great. He gave great intel on that. But you know, he's excited for this team. He said he feels like this could be the most talented that they've had. You know, probably in a while. And I asked him to kind of compare it to what you had in 2023. We had Jelani Hamilton, you had Ayrton Page, you had Isaiah Collier. You know, a very deep team that won it all. And he was like, you know, it's just making sure everybody does what they're supposed to do. We feel pretty good. We feel like we can run too deep any night at every position. So, I mean, when you have that, that's why I said it's just the complacency, not getting, you know, too high or too low, but making sure you bring it every single night, man. And he didn't go in specific with the players, you know what I'm saying, all the players that he has, but he just talked about them being collectively good, like together, sharing the basketball. Anybody can go off on any night. That's what makes them dangerous. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the things that Coach Thompson outlined with his phenomenal group. And we talked about, obviously, Monster and McLean and in the Gracie New Year's Classic going off for 30-plus points. So they got it. It's just bringing it every single night, and I think they'll be fine.
So did you say anything about Kevin Savage?
No, I didn't get to ask him about it. We got, you know, too much into a conversation because that was my goal. I was going to ask him about Coda Subtle, 4-star. So I asked him about Kevin Savage, 4-star. Ole Miss signee now, Tyler Jordan, McLean. Like I had a bunch I wanted to ask him about, but he just told me, he said that the key, all of them are great, but the key is that they play for one another, they play together, and everybody on this team, Bacon, has to accept the role. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't accept your role, you're not going to play. You have to defend at a high level to play on this basketball team. So I think that's the key there. Kevin Savage is wonderful. He's had a obviously great start to his career. He's going to be obviously a prospect to watch. But I think the key for everybody watching at home is that this Wheeler basketball team, they all know their roles. Anybody can go off on any given night, and that's what makes them dangerous come postseason time.
There it is, man. Huh? What'd you say, brother?
No, I was saying that's kind of how he said it.
Nah, for sure. The man with the inside, brother, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's doing it better than Najeh Wilkins right now. Just being honest. Just being honest. But that'll, you know what I'm saying? Do you want to shout out anybody? Actually, let me ask you this, brother. You know what I'm saying? I don't know anything about Tucker or Baldwin basketball or Decatur. So if you have any insight, if you want to talk about Pace girls, Walnut Grove girls, please enlighten us on what you do know about those teams as well.
I will say for the other ones, so Decatur got a new coach. If you guys don't know, the former Langston Hughes coach, Roy Welsh, is over there for their basketball team this year, and they've looked pretty good. I've talked to him a few times. I have not seen his Decatur team up close and personal, so I can't say too much. But they're 10-6 so far, 6-1, and guess who they play right before they're going to play that game against Green Forest? They got Tri-Cities tomorrow night. So that'd be a good test to see where they're at, and you followed up with a really good Green Forest team. So getting some really good tests, man, to see where they're at, and some good exposure, I would say, too. And then Tucker, let me shout out their head coach, James Hardy, I believe his name is. He just surpassed 500 career wins for his career, his illustrious career. So he's doing an outstanding job. And they'll go up against, obviously, Baldwin, a team that's just looking to fight back, looking to kind of get in the fray, making sure they could be playoff bound, man. So that's the latest there. The girls, the pace, I know they're not ranked. Neither team is a top 10 team in their classification. This team's at this point in the season still trying to figure it out, trying to find good lineups, you know what I'm saying, that could be able to, you know, kind of just lead to winning.
There it is, brother. We thank you for enlightening us, man. We're going to move on.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we will talk about Milton. They were traveling to Missouri. Where are they going? This is Missouri, traveling to Missouri. Bass Pro Tournament. Playing some high level teams, playing teams like Link Academy, Millennium, the Bueller School out of Philly, or New Jersey, 1 or 2, Oak Ridge out of Florida. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying, we'll kind of talk about some of the prospects they're going to be facing here. I'm going to share my screen. This time I'm not going to say. I'm just going to share the screen. Let me exit this ad out real quick. All right, you good, brother? Can't see if you shared it. I'm on the article. I'm in the trenches right now. All right, started with Link Academy. Big 5-star Chris Sinek out of Link Academy. Obviously, you know what I'm saying, got a lot of offers. LSU, Arkansas, Kentucky, Auburn, Tennessee, Alabama, Baylor, Creighton, UConn, Illinois, Kansas, and others. 6'10". I was watching them play. Who were they playing? They were playing Bella Vista. For those who don't know, that is where Muhammad Silla is enrolled at to play basketball. Was very dominant. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure who they're going to play, if they're going to play all these teams, but Chris Sinek Jr. is one Jerry Easter guard, you know what I'm saying? He's twitchy, you know what I'm saying? Can really get off if you let him. But we're going to scroll down to some more that I really like. There's a big man. Oh, Andre Iguodala's son. That's another name to know on Link Academy. He can play defense just like his father, working on his offensive game, but you know what I'm saying, he's getting his confidence together at the moment. But the brother can't play. Let's see.
Malachi Jordan, remember him?
Malachi Jordan. Where do we see him at, brother?
Remember?
I know it's YBL team.
Peach.
What team did he play for?
That was that one guard that was just cooking everybody. Young, and then he played 2027. So he's playing with the Young Bucks at the time. Obviously, you know, he's a year older now, but he's played for that one team that he was just busting them up.
Did you see him in person, or you read something?
No, we both seen him. Remember?
No, I'm not remembering right now.
Yeah, remember it was the one team we had just got there, and we was watching them play. And I can't remember the team he played on the EYBL circuit, but it was just like, yo, like he's hooping. You know what I'm saying? And I remember I did like a little thing. I had shouted him out. I was like, yo, he can hoop. He was one of the standouts. Let me see. Yeah, as soon as I put it, he actually comes up.
I bet.
I shouldn't get copyright.
You gonna share screen?
Okay, so do not copyright me. All right, this is my stuff. As y'all can see, it's me. All right, so remember?
Yeah. He was getting busy. Quick twitch type of guy, gets down here real nice. Hey, man. This is against Bobby Steve? No, that's not Bobby.
Huh? He was playing for Mokan Elite. That's who it was.
Mokan. Who are they playing right there?
You was there. Like you seen like the first. You wasn't there long, but you watched it for a little bit. He's like, yo, I'm gonna go check this kid because it's 26, or he was like something like that. You was there for like might have been like 10 hot minutes though. But I was like, nah, I'm gonna stay. I was like, yo, that kid cooking.
Nah, he's elite. Link Academy is loaded, brother.
Yes, they are.
It shouldn't be. It should be illegal for them to have that much talent on one team. Like, how do you coach it? Like, you know what I'm saying? So much. But let me reshare my screen. We had to see that. Thank you for sharing that, but thank you for putting them on.
Yes, sir.
Once again.
Yes, sir. That's why you go to the EYBL sesh, man. That's why you go Peach Jam.
Facts. So, and EYBL is they're coming to.
I don't think they're coming to Atlanta this year.
That's right. And they're going to Memphis. They're not coming to Atlanta this year, which is unfortunate. But shout out to 3SB, man. You know what I'm saying? They're coming to our neck of the woods. Hopefully Under Armour comes to our neck of the woods, because you know what I'm saying, Aludium, probably hopefully he played for the Under Armour circuit last year. So you know what I'm saying, we get that content for y'all, man. So that'd be elite. But no, a Millennium Kingston Tosi, man. He can play 3-star, you know what I'm saying, 6'7" forward, you know what I'm saying. He can get to a bucket. To me, really underrated. You know what I'm saying, he's got a nice size, as you can see, kind of moves people out the way. Really thrives on, you know what I'm saying, creating that little bump of space that's what you kind of see all over the game. Got a little Jason Tatum type in this game. Not as like his bag's not as deep. Obviously, he's in high school, but Kingston Tosi is a name to remember. Obviously, got the 5-star Cameron Holmes. Do we see him too? Can't remember. But 5-star as well. Say it again, brother.
I say he looks familiar, not gonna lie.
He does look familiar. You know what I mean? Top 20, not committed anywhere. 2026. North Carolina's after him. Oregon's after him. Arizona, Dayton, Georgetown. Georgetown is in on a guy who we'll get to later in the topics of Nate Ahmet. So it'd be nice to see Georgetown get back to its prominence how it was back in was it the 80s when they were in Big East going crazy? They're still in the Big East, but let's see. This young man right here, Eric Reeby. And after this, I'll go to Milton. But this is the one. This is the one. Yes. This is the one. 7-footer. You know what I'm saying? Elite. You seen his highlights?
Yeah, I seen his film. Yeah, elite. I mean, the big man. It's a 5-star for a reason, y'all. I mean, he can do basically just about anything. Stretch the floor, hit the 3-ball, get to the post, back you down, do some turnaround moves, get to the rim with ease. Big body, can defend. I mean, there's a reason why the dude signed with UConn. Just saying.
UConn. Shout out to Coach. Dang, what's Coach's name? Hit me out now. What's his name?
Coach Hurley.
Coach Hurley. Dan Hurley. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Special, man. I mean, you've already said it, man. Brothers Elite. You know what I'm saying? If you want to get more in depth, Les Nyers will put up the highlights. Eric is the one. Pass the ball. I mean, just like elite, brother. That's all I'm gonna say. But let's get to the team. Most of our, you know, so you already know about the Oak Ridge kid, Jameer Jones. Let's see, Jalen Reese, elite bucket getter, can really cook out the dribble. Trayvon Maddox, Zay Mosley, but Josh Dixon, the hometown team, Milton. To me, really underrated. I know he's 6'1", but he can get busy. As we've seen, he can put a lot of elite talent on skates. But you know what I'm saying, can him and Daniel Ojiemi, can they bootstrap this team? Ojiemi's committed to Yale, you know what I'm saying, Ivy League brothers, so you know what I'm saying, very well coached, smart player in the front court, you know what I'm saying, really likes to move guys out of his way. But I'm coming to you, Naj, you know what I'm saying, can Josh Dixon and Daniel Ojiemi, can they create some headspace? Can they go out there and to Missouri and create some buzz, man, put themselves more on the map than what they already are?
Yeah, I mean, these are 2 elite guards. I mean, or 1 elite guard, 1 elite forward. When you look at their team, I actually got a chance to talk to Coach Whitehart, and he said he thinks that Josh Dixon is the best scorer, he thinks, in the Peach State, right? Now, obviously, some people will argue other guys, like obviously a J.R. Leonard. Some people say a Caleb Holt, you know what I'm saying, and answers like that. But he said his ability to get north and south, his ability to get down the floor with tempo and pace is some of the best that he's seen. Now, remember, he's coached up guys like a Bruce Thornton, who's at Ohio State, right? So if Coach Whitehart is saying that through his years of watching and coaching basketball, I definitely have to take him up on it. Now, I've not seen Milton in person, so it's tough for me to say, you know what I'm saying, because I have not seen Dixon, but every time I've seen highlights or I've seen anything as far as, you know, what he's able to do, he's elite. He tears it up. So this is obviously a team to continue to watch. They're going to play actually Wheeler next Saturday. That might be a game worth going to at Milton. But 2 elite teams going neck and neck, Bacon. That could be one to potentially check out and see what they're able to do potentially. But yeah, man, Dixon's just an elite guy. Daniel Ojiemi, he talked very highly of as well. Said he's very constant. He just going to do whatever the team needs to win. Another underrated guy. I can't believe he's only going to Yale. Obviously very smart, very cerebral, but definitely should be playing somewhere else. Always look like he's about to average or get a double-double. Does a lot, but it's gonna be the core players, right? Those 2, you know what they're gonna give you every single night. Can the guys like a Braxton Giesler, who is a glue guy for them, right? Does all the dirty work, doesn't always get the exposure and attention that he deserves. Can he have a big game? Can a Grant McDuffie, who he says very underrated, had a finished in double figures against Johns Creek recently, can he have a good game, right? So in addition to a Dixon and an Ojiemi, There's going to have to be another guy that I think steps up in that Milton team that has a good night for them to make some noise. Now, granted, this is a team that likes to play top tier competition. They play Central Phoenix City, right? You know what I'm saying? They play St. Joseph. We know how elite St. Joseph is out of New York. You know what I'm saying? They've played teams out in California. That Baylor commit, Tundin Yusufa, right? That averaging like 20 points a game. Like he wants his team to go against elite guys from when I talked to him or what he said. So it's just a test. And if they want to win a state championship, and as he said, will Milton maximize their potential? The only way you're going to know is if you go up against elite competition like this and be able to survive. And they're actually going to play, probably playing right now against, I think he said Lincoln. Is he playing Lincoln Academy? No, Christ King. They're playing Christ King first. So they got to play Christ King, and then they'll play the winner of Oak Ridge and whoever they're playing. But, those guys are elite, man. It's just, getting in front of people more. But I think they're very underrated.
100%. I agree with you, brother. That's definitely a team. Can they compete? We'll see. We'll see how to do against Christ King. Christ King is also a very well-known and respected basketball program. But, we're going to move on to another team. Well, we've already talked about them. Newton played Grovetown. Let's see, today's Thursday, so Tuesday. They played Grovetown Tuesday. Newton came out on top, winning by 27, 89 to 62. Look at my math skills working right there. I'm doing my little brain drills, just doing simple addition, in order to get, so you get a little rusty, but, we've been working. But no stats are posted for Newton on Max Preps. We're going to talk about Grovetown. DJ Postel, second leading scorer, 19 points. Marcus Curry, we talked about Marcus Curry a couple podcasts ago, man. 22 points, 8 for 16 from the field. So this Grovetown team is very respected. To lose by 20, you definitely don't want to do that. But a team that's hard-nosed, a team that's going to fight. Also, the high school team of Darion Reed, who's at Alabama right now, playing like a true freshman. But tough loss. But that just lets you know what type of program Newton has. Brother, if you have anything to say, any spill to add on that, we definitely all ears.
Yeah, I would say about that one. Newton got back on track after losing to Grayson. They're 12-5 on the year. Obviously, got an upcoming matchup against Wheeler, so we'll see how they look there. Grovetown has a good team, not as good as it was when he had obviously Darion Reed. But got some guys that can fill it up and score at a high end level. But continue to see how they're going to look. I will go with Newton. Well, obviously Newton won, but I think Newton's going to be that number 2 seed in that region along with a Grayson. I think just Grovetown is tough. When you look at Grayson and what they have, Newton's that next best team in that region, probably likely going to be a 3 or 4 seed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And second team we got is Pebblebrook. Hillgrove completes the season sweep against the Pebblebrook Falcons. Winning again by another 20-ball win, man. 72. No, excuse me. I'm saying it backwards. Did not complete the sweep. Pebblebrook came and got their get back in a mighty way, 72 to 54. Coach Washington, very good coach, very good X's and O's coach. Really very tough to beat him twice. To come back kind of stifle their offense. I believe they played at home. If I'm not mistaken, they played at Mableton. Let me double check that before I just say that. One second, y'all. Yes, they played. Hillgrove came to the home, man. It's different coming to the Brook. Raucous environment. They get loud in there. And when you know your home nets, the basket just looks that much bigger. Again, no stats for the home team, so we're gonna talk about Hillgrove. Leading scorer for the Hillgrove Eagles, if I'm not mistaken. Bryson Jada, 21 points, 8 for 20 from the field, 40% from the field. So, with leading scorer shooting 40 from the field, that just lets you know, that they struggle mightily. 10 points, Asa Montgomery, 2 for 12 from the field. As a team, they shot 29% from the field. So, that's pretty much the game right there. But rebound, let's see what they shot from the 3. They shot, this got to be wrong. So they shot 8% from the 3. That can't be right. But like I said, man, it's tough to beat Coach Washington and that team. Hats off to them, man. I think they're always kind of up and down at the middle of the season. Coach Washington team, they get better as the years progress and they're really preparing for that March run, if you know what I'm saying.
Facts.
Anything to add to that, my friend?
Not on that one, man. Pebblebrook obviously moves to 11-6, looking to probably get a top seed before region tourney. But they don't keep stats. It's kind of hard to kind of follow what they're doing, but having a great year so far.
Let's talk about that, brother. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, as journalists, content, not gonna say content creators, but we do create content and very good at it. But from your perspective, and I get it, I respect it. You know what I mean? You may not want other teams, especially if you're playing a national schedule, to really get a good beat on you. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to get film unless you're tapped into the huddling. So how do you feel about, I'm saying, especially big major teams not putting out stats? They put it on their Twitter, but Max Prep is kind of like the hub. So what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's tough. I like at least a team to at least do that, put it on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? At least you have somewhere to look. Some teams don't even do that. Like they don't have a Twitter account or it's outdated. They've never updated it. So, like I said, it comes hard, and that's why you see the exposure where it is in some places with some of the players because they just they don't have anywhere to go find it. Right? Think about it. A lot of these kids don't have huddles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If they do, you know what I'm saying, it's hard to find. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, like, probably a lot of these basketball programs don't have recruiting coordinators and things like that pushing out the film. So then when you don't have stats, you don't have that. It's tougher. The good thing is Pebblebrook is known as a phenomenal program, so they can get away with it because, year in, year out, likely they're going to have some kind of talent. When you look at other programs that don't do this, it's the reason why they struggle. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of the programs, like, for example, established here in the state, the Wheelers, the Norcrosses, the Pebblebrooks, Newton more recently, Grayson more recently, right? They have a place you can go find their stuff, right? Everything is accessible. So I would say definitely, I know it's more work, but if you're trying to help your kids get to the next level, whatever level that might be, D1, D2, D3, FCS, whatever it is, definitely got to do something with as far as their stats, just helping people so that they can highlight them, get them out there,
I agree, brother. I agree. Let's see, I'm on the Twitter page right now. Don't see any new news. Other than I got to shout out Jordan Brown. He was there with Juwan Simon. Kamai Young was there. Playing in the JUCO right now at averaging 14 points, 4.5 rebounds, 4.3 assists at Gaston College, 44% from three. 46.9% from the field through 13 games. So keep that name in mind, man. Jordan Brown setting the JUCO runners on fire. So we could probably see him at, FCS, potentially a D1, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Things go well for him, but he's definitely putting himself on the map. But we're gonna segue into college basketball, ironically, right? One of the hot topics in college basketball is Jordan Broome. Haven't seen any updates on his injury, but I know it's an ankle sprain, high ankle sprain at that, in a near loss to South Carolina. Again, but so have you seen anything or heard anything about this, where he's at in the status?
Yeah, I haven't seen nothing either. I think they're keeping that under wraps right now. But if you're an Auburn fan, you feel good. No Johnny Broome, and you beating the crap out of people, right? They just dogged Mississippi State like it was nothing, right? Chad Baker Mazzara, he had basically the team out 20 points. Channing Johnson had 17 and 8. So if you Auburn, I think what makes them such an elite team, they got depth, right? Obviously, Johnny Broome is having a top end year, right? Should be an award winner or should be in that conversation as a finalist for John Wooden Award. You know what I'm saying? He should be a finalist for that. But then you got guys like Miles Kelly who knows his role well, like guys that can come in and score at a high level with Ja'Kai Howard, Baker Mazzara. Like they got everybody that can do different things. So obviously, yes, it was a close win against South Carolina. It was tough, grinded out, but at the same time, they got a team that's very deep, and you feel good, about what you can do.
Definitely, brother. And this is a team that shoots the ball well. They're shooting three at a high clip, 37%. Thad Pitford, very elite freshman. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're a freshman before I say that. Yes, freshman, 6'1" freshman out of New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? Shooting 38%. Also, another one is Denver Jones, shooting 43% from three. Miles Kelly, like you alluded to, shooting 44%. We've seen these things at Georgia Tech, you know what I'm saying, but just on a deeper team this year. So, you know what I'm saying?
He's shooting
They're a
it
good
better
team.
too.
Yeah.
He wasn't
Shooting.
shooting it that efficiently. That was the biggest thing about him and why he didn't go to the league. He wanted to prove his three ball, right? And that's not a knock on obviously Coach Stoudemire what he's doing, but he went to Auburn to go be developed even more with Coach Bruce Pearl, and we're seeing that, right? We're seeing his 3-point percentage go up. We're seeing his efficiency rating go up. And now when he goes and has this conversation with scouts and people in the league, hey, look, with the production, I play for a winning team, and I could be a complimentary piece on the next level.
Definitely. A very good, you know what I'm saying, on college level, very elite 3-and-D guy, man. We'll see what he does when he gets to the league. But yeah, he should be. I'm thinking a lotto pick, 15, maybe a low end lotto pick, definitely a first rounder for sure. But we're gonna talk about a name that may be infamous to some. I love guys who get second chances, but we're talking about Mikey Williams scoring a career high, you know what I'm saying, missing the majority of the season with an injury, scoring 9 points in 17 minutes versus Arizona. I didn't watch the full highlights, but I did see the jam-packed 7-minute highlights on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see a lot. I saw a layup, but nonetheless, 9 points, 17 minutes. That's pretty damn good. That's very efficient. But I'm saying, brother, what do you think about Mikey Williams? I know they're not playing the best brand of basketball at UCF, but they do have a winning record.
Yeah, they do have a winning record. I mean, they're not playing the best brand of basketball. It's a fact. For him, you just want to see him get his opportunity, his chance. I mean, that's what you're seeing currently right now. Obviously, was efficient. It's been tough, right? He's only played, I think he's averaging 4 minutes and 1 point prior to that career high. So you just want him to take advantage of his opportunities, be able to, stay on the court. And now it's some important basketball when you look at UCF and what they got. Tournament time is not that far off. You know what I'm saying? So currently, as we look right now, UCF 5th in the Big 12. Right now, obviously, it's a conference. When you usually look at college basketball, it's one of the creme de la cremes, right? So they're 3-2 right now, still early in conference play. Iowa State leads with a 12-game winning streak right now at 15-1. They've looked good. Houston looks good. 9-game winning streak. Arizona looks good. 7-game winning streak. They just knocked off top 25 Baylor, who kind of slid down a little bit. But what does UCF have coming up next? Coming up this weekend, they're going to play obviously against Houston, right? So there you go, right? Saturday at noon, you're playing Houston, and then Tuesday, you're playing Iowa State. So we get to find out a lot about this basketball team and what they're going to be able to do playing some of the best, you know what I'm saying, obviously, in college basketball and in the Big 12. So it's going to be a great test to see where they're at, how elite they can be, and if they can hang with the big dogs.
Right. I agree with you, but they got the roster's not too bad when you look at like skill and length. JJ Taylor, another guy, man, from Chicago, had a lot of buzz coming out of high school playing for Kanye's team. I think Fear God is I think that's a part of Ye as well. So we're gonna call it Fear God for the time being. But JJ Taylor's another one, only averaging 8 points this year, but a 6'8" wing, almost 200 pounds. It's probably just a chemistry thing, man. Similar to what we're seeing at Georgia Tech. Obviously, probably not as bad, but you know what I mean. Just got to play as it fits. Everybody's got to buy into the role. And I think that's the biggest thing with college recruits, even some high school recruits. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's just got to buy in. If I need you to go get 10 rebounds, go dive on the floor and go get 10 rebounds for us. But starter team, Keyshawn Hall had 40 points against Arizona State. You know what I'm saying, shoots the ball fairly well, shoots his free throw percentage. It was 10 for 10 that game. So a guard that knows how to get down here or a excuse me, or a forward 6'7" guard, you know what I'm saying, combo guard, whatever you want to say, from Cleveland, Ohio. But yeah, that's a name to watch for that team, especially with the big games coming up. Darius Johnson is also another formidable player for this team, from Maryland. Kind of a gritty guard, you know what I'm saying, likes to move guys out of the way. But I said that to say, man, like I said, this team is very formidable. We will see what they got coming down the line as they enter into quad 1 territory.
Facts.
But go ahead, brother. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I said facts.
Oh, okay, yeah. So we'll see what UCF has to say, and hopefully we can see Michael Williams in those games more, because you know what I'm saying, you're only getting older, brother. And let's be. I'm just being honest. You only get old. I'm not taking anything away. He had a lot of hype. Everybody knows Michael Williams before the scandal was coming out. People were talking about him being one of the best scorers. You know, I even put him up to, I believe, like names like Kyrie Irving. So we want to see what you got, Coach. We want to see what you got, Coach. Let's see him in some high stakes moments, playing more than 10 minutes per game. That's all I'm saying. But you got to get in shape. I know you've been out with injury, but so we'll see. But that'll, like I said, that'll conclude our boys college basketball segment. We're going to get into girls. You know what I'm saying? We gave it take fans. You know what I'm saying? We super feed. We super fed them early. So we won't talk about the wild, not the Wildcats, the Yellow Jackets. We're going to get into some major news for women's basketball. I'm going to share my screen here. An article put out by ESPN. Or Associated Press that just copy and pasted it. It happens a lot in journalism, so don't be alarmed if you're like, oh man, they plagiarizing. this is normal. Respectfully, you know what I'm saying. But the NCAA approves paying women basketball tournament teams. We don't want to get copyrighted. So pretty much what's happening, you know what I'm saying, you make it to the tournament, you're gonna get compensated more. I was watching this young lady's video. Pretty much all they got last year, I believe they got some gear, some mid food compared to the boys who the schools get paid. You know, so they get the gear too, and they had like a whole spread. Like they had like a buffet style plates, and the girls maybe had some rice cakes. That's probably a little far fetched, but it's not too far off. So I'll read a couple lines from this article. Women's basketball teams finally getting paid to be playing NCAA terms each March, just like the men's was approved. I believe they had a meeting in Nashville, if I'm not mistaken. Unanimous vote by the membership was met by a round of applause. Like I said, this is the first time this has ever been done for women's sports. This is just going to be a catalyst, you know, to keep women's basketball progressing, similar to what we're seeing in the WNBA, where the NBA obviously allocating more funds to them, and then with them having a record-breaking ratings, that's just going to continue, you know what I'm saying, to push that stipend north and norther. NCAA President Charlie Barker joined others in giving credit for the creation of the performance fund to those who came before and has helped build women's basketball. We're the lucky ones, Baker said. We got to be here on the day it became a reality. Now we want to get to the meat and potatoes. Okay, let's get into the meat and potatoes. Here we go. In the first year, $15 million will be awarded to the teams out of the fund, which is 26% of women's basketball media revenue deal that will grow to $25 million or 41% of the revenue by 2028. The 20% is on par with the men's basketball teams that the men's basketball received in their first year performance that the unit was established. I mean, so that's pretty much it. They're just putting them on par, you know what I'm saying, to, you know, start them out where the other league started out. I think it's good. I think this is long overdue, but a lot of times in order to get funds, in order to get, you know what I'm saying, sponsorships, whatever you do, you got to have the eyeballs behind it. People want to see, or investors want to see ROI. So, you know, again, I'm happy for this. Najeh, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's great. Like you said, it's advancing the game forward. That's my biggest thing with that. How do you advance the game forward? Again, I told you I've been disappointed with how it's advancing forward after Caitlin Clark left. I just don't think we're getting the same exposure, the same coverage as we was getting last year. And when Caitlin Clark was in it, granted she's a generational talent, but I think it's still phenomenal girls that's playing this game, right? With the Juju Watkins, the Paige Bookers, the Hidalgos of the world. South Carolina girls basketball team is just not as much buzz. It's just a fact. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I like this model. You got to, like you said, you got to start from somewhere, right? That's the key here. Got to start from somewhere, and I think they should be paid. It should be more than just some gear and, you know, rice cakes or some mid food, as you would say. You know what I'm saying? But actually awarding these girls for it. And like you said, the money's there. If you got these big media deals, if ESPN's putting the games out there or CBS Sports, like, it's money to flow around, man. It's just putting it into the right stuff. And allowing these girls to showcase their talent. That was the biggest key. Why did Caitlin blow up so much? Yes, she was great. Yes, she was different. But she also, you couple that being great, being different, being a step above, she got everything that she needed with exposure. You know what I'm saying? NIL deals, right? always talking about her, being featured in the national shows, right? All that stuff plays a part. So with this money and you paying them, right, the girls feel more inclined to want to play hard. Hey, I want to achieve my dream of making the WNBA, or if I want to achieve my dream of going international, you know what I'm saying? Now I can. I feel more comfortable. At least I know I'm being not necessarily compensated, y'all, but at least I'm being appreciated. You know what I'm saying? At least all the hard work that I've put in for years and I'm getting on this stage, I have the opportunity to make better of myself and I can do different things. So I think it's great for the sport. And I hope they continue to do more. I know pretty soon we're going to have revenue sharing. They've already been talking about it, not just in college football, but basketball as well. And I hope that the girls too, I know they're going to get paid obviously with the tournament stuff. But I also hope that they share revenue if the team is making revenue with girls college basketball. I hope they share revenue with the players as well for the girls.
100%. Let's hope that we see a more media push as you know what I'm saying we get too closer to March, because there are storylines in women's college basketball. We got TCU, Haley Van Lith is on that team. Let's hope you know what I'm saying the roads collide the right way and they see LSU. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying there's any bad blood, but you know, with the media narrative, they can spin it however they're gonna spin it, you know what I'm saying? Just to get the ratings there, man. Obviously, you know what I'm saying, South Carolina, LSU. I would love to see South Carolina play USC. You know what I'm saying? That would be box office. And then, you know what I'm saying, if UCLA was to beat South Carolina again, can South Carolina handle, or Texas? Can they handle that interior presence? Because they do not have that. They do not have that link, that championship link that Coach Don Staley has built that program off of. So let's hope that happens. And let me make myself clear, man. Anytime women do good, the man they're gonna flourish as well. You know what I'm saying? It's just natural. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Physics, if you will. But you know what I'm saying? I just say all that to say, man, let's get out and support our women, man. They do a lot of great things, playing their hearts out, playing a great brand of basketball. You know what I mean? So let's just support our ladies, man. When they're doing good, everybody does good. All right, NBA. Last night, if you're a Hawks fan, which I'm sure most of our viewers are, we're Georgia-based podcast, but we expand. Our web stretches out to other states. But the Hawks won. Major win last night for the Hawks. They defeated the Bulls, and not your regular crew. We know Dyson Daniels did his thing. A couple injuries to the Hawks last night. So the G League, the College Park Skyhawks that nobody ever comes to see play. Keaton Wallace, Daquan Plowden, they showed out last night, brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you've seen the news. It's been everywhere on our Twitter feed, man. You may not have seen the footage, the film, but you know what I'm saying? What do you think it means for the G League players, especially in our area, to do their thing and pretty much stay in their name in the basketball world going forward?
Yeah, I love it. Like I said, I know G League doesn't always get the credit that it deserves, but a lot of these players be ready. I know you've done a good job of highlighting players like Markel Joyner. You did the other day, just doing a little piece with a guy, just doing a pregame warm up. I seen that obviously on your Twitter page. But I think it's important, right? You're gonna have injuries. You're gonna have guys that get banged up, and you need guys to be able to call upon and call up that can come in and play instantly for you, right? And it's been an underrated season for the Hawks, but they've pulled off some really great victories. And some of the guys have been stepping up that they've needed and that they've called up. So I think it's impressive. I really do humbly will say this. I haven't seen other G League teams, but I think the Hawks have one of the better ones. Not far as saying in the G League, but I mean in terms of getting the talent, developing the talent, and helping them go either staying with the Hawks or going on to the next destination. I do think that they're one of the better ones that doing that currently constructed in the NBA with what they're able to do. So I think that's a formula that anybody can follow and watch, and that's what it's about. It might not be with the Hawks, but if you can develop a player to get on his destination, whether that's international, overseas, or even here, I think that's important. I think the Hawks do a stellar job at it.
Nah, I'm willing to go on a limb and say that I think it's a fact that I think the Hawks top 5, top 3 best developmental admin group in all of the NBA. You look at Jalen Johnson, that's a G League baby. Mohamed Gay, who y'all seen on the sidelines, G League project, who I believe is going to blow the top off the league when he gets there. I know Kobe Buffkin isn't panning out how we thought, but another G League baby. And then obviously those two last night. Keaton Wallace was really got some steam. But there's some other G League players that I've seen come and go from College Park who are on their teams averaging 20. And when they were here, they were averaging like 12 to 15. Though while they were here, they had a lot more other players who they had to share the ball with. But you know, so they do. I believe that if you interviewed or talked to anyone, yeah, I got better when I left College Park. And what another thing what a lot of people don't know about the G League, it's not like the NBA. These guys, they don't just, you know what I'm saying, have light practices. They play in the practice. They go hard, you know what I'm saying? They're trying to take your head off, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's hungry. They're not getting 100 million. They're not getting a million. I believe around 50, 60, 70K.
Yeah,
So just, you know what I'm saying, to
yeah.
stay above float, you know what I'm saying? Some of them are feeding their families. So
Multiple
it's different.
kids,
Yeah, got kids, man. So time away from your family at that. So
chasing a
it's
dream.
not chasing the dream. That's a perfect way to say it. Chasing the dream. So to see those guys last night who played in the G League game the day before, probably didn't practice, just came right in. Of course, they play the same system and they're playing tonight. That just lets you know what type of grind they're on, and I'm saying the hunger that you got to have inside, the mental fortitude that you got to have in order to execute. But you know what I'm saying, definitely, and also an interesting thing, I believe they're in one of the top teams in the East, and so it'll come to when it comes to the end of the year, I think around February or March, um, they'll be in the running to host a playoff game, which will be the first time in Skyhawk history. Maybe not Skyhawk history because they relocated, I think, from it's escaping my mind right now, but they're the second team. They're the second. College Park is the second home city for the organization. So, what I say all that to say, if they're able to host a playoff game, which will be the first time in history, man, definitely come out and support them. College Park ain't nowhere. If you take flights on the regular, it's literally right there. So tap in, and it's a really raucous environment, enjoyable environment where everybody packs it out. Also, the same place with the Atlanta Dream place. So let's when that time comes, tickets ain't that expensive. So tap in with them, man, and you see some great basketball. But moving on from them, we got to talk about two of the hottest teams in the NBA. One of them being the Kings. So, brother, the floor is yours if you want it. You know what I'm saying? Just what's your thoughts on the Kings and the whole situation right now?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, they struggled for a lot of part of the season trying to figure out lineups and rotations. Obviously, Mike Brown ended up getting let go. He's an integral part of that team, making a great run before obviously losing to the Warriors, a few seasons back. I might have knocked them out. I'm trying to remember. I think they knocked them out. You know what I'm saying? But the key with the Kings has been when will they take that next step forward? So credit them, 7-game winning streak. Are here recently, obviously before that recent loss, but they're playing good together. Obviously De'Aaron Fox is doing what he's doing. I'm saying DeMar DeRozan and Sabonis, it's just all fitting together. And that obviously in recent games they've been stepping up with Fox's absence. Right here recently. So I mean, credit to them. They're sharing the ball. They're beating really good teams. I know the Celtics right now are struggling. Picked up another loss recently to the Toronto Raptors. But nonetheless, they're getting big wins. And, with him returning, you get another scoring threat, scoring punch, just what you want.
I agree, man. And shout out to Doug Christie for stepping in. The reports were, I believe this is poor Brian Windhorst. You know what I'm saying? Mike Brown, you know what I'm saying, it got ugly towards the end. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Doug Christie, who for the majority of the time, it's kind of obviously your assistant coach is going to be more player oriented than the head coaches at times because he's got to lead the troops. You know what I'm saying? Them players obviously come to him for certain things. You know what I'm saying? It could just be that new guy coming in, they're going to listen to, be more receptive. So shout out to Doug Christie and everything he's doing in Sacramento right now because they look good. Like you said, how many? What's their record in the last 10? If you remember, 7-3.
I think so.
Yeah, 7-3 in the last 10 on one game losing streak. But you know what I'm saying, they're inside the playoffs right now at 9 seed. Also, we're gonna talk. Who's not the Pistons? The Pacers. The Pacers, they look solid right now, man. 7-3 in their last 10. On a one game losing streak, turning it around. Let me go to the schedule real quick.
Yeah, they're actually up on the Pistons right now, who's a surging team. They've been better over the last stretch. I think they're like 7-3 or 8-2 in their last 10 games, up 92-81. Recently
Mm,
lost to the Cavaliers. Credit to the Cavs for taking away Pascal Siakam in that second half of that game. 2 points on only 5 shots for him. Didn't have Therese Halliburton, had a left groin strain.
mm.
But overall, Pacers playing some really good basketball, even without him. Ben Shepherd has been another guy stepping up for them. They're doing a really good job. Just shooting the ball from the field and from deep. That's been kind of the telltale for the Pacers so far this year.
Well said, brother. What's your thoughts on Pascal, man?
I think he's a good player. I think he's one of those guys like, you know what he's going to give you. I don't think he's a superstar. I think he knows the role and knows how to play it. He can score. He could be a great complementary piece to a championship winning team, whether that's second best, third best player. I think that's kind of what he is.
I agree. And we also got to talk about the Rockets. They are the hottest team in the NBA right now, per the win streak, right? But they have emerged into the number 2 spot in the West. So they're on a 5-game win streak, 7-3 in their last 10, plus 6.2 points in point differential. Very young team. Obviously, Coach Ime Udoka. But brother, you know what I'm saying, what's your thoughts on them currently? Obviously, they play more of they're a young team, they're athletic, they're gonna grind you out, get a lot of offensive rebounds. Do you think when they get to the playoff, do you think that brand of basketball can last? Just playing
I don't know. It's a
16.
different game, different pace. We've seen teams that are young that struggle. A recent example is the number 1 team right now, and that's Oklahoma City Thunder, right? They were the 1 seed last year, ended up getting bounced. I think it was first round, potentially. It's hard to keep up that frenetic pace in the playoffs when the game slows down and it's more controlled. The ball's sticking a little bit more. But I do want to give credit to Ime Udoka. Whatever it is, what they're going to say about him, the whole thing he had with the affair he had on his, I guess his fiance at the time, Nia Long. You know what I'm saying? With the Celtics and that resulting in him leaving there, hey, he wins games, right? He wins games. He gets you there. Like before Boston won with obviously Missoula, they was right in peak position to win the title. Now they came up short obviously against the Warriors, but we know what he does. You know what I'm saying? So to have this young accumulation of talent with a Jalen Green, right, a Suagon, you throw in Fred VanVleet as well. To have them as a
Mm-hmm.
number 2 seed in a very clouded West, you got to give credit where credit is due. But I think they're gonna fall a little bit short. It's just hard to do that. I don't know why it's like that in the NBA for whatever reason, but teams that are young like that, they just that first year, and this is the real first year for the Rockets. They made a late push last year to make things interesting on the Warriors and several other teams. For whatever reason, that first year, just teams cannot figure it out. Like they usually get bounced early, or they struggle a little bit going through learning pains and things like that. I think they have to go through that. We just seen OKC do that. So I think it's going to be tough, but it's going to be some good experience for them come postseason time to go up against some of the creme de la creme and be able to be one of those young budding teams you think next year, they might be able to make a run.
I agree with you, brother. Also got shout out Dylan Brooks. They're really, really, really. That's a good guy for them. Amen Thompson, who averaging 12 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists on 55% shooting as a rookie. I also got to talk about Jabari Smith, Sandy Creek guy, not too far from me. So they got a young talented group. To your point, man, can they hold it together? I think Coach Udoka and the front office is just we're gonna throw this team into the playoffs and kind of just evaluate, see if this product will work. I don't think they're going to get to the finals, but you know, what I mean, youth and high energy, man. You know, we kind of seen it with the Grizzlies. You know, what I'm saying when they were getting out. So and they're gonna play deep. And so when we're gonna see, Coach Udoka is a very good defensive coach. So it'll be interesting to see how they play. And also, Coach Damon Stoudemire, coach under Udoka during his time in Boston. Want to throw that out there. So I just let you know, Tech fans, if you're still in here, pump the brakes. Brother comes from a good tree, man. So I wanted to shout Coach Stoudemire. We love what he does. We also got to talk about Isaiah Collier. We talked about Wheeler. Had a career high 23 points and a game-winning layup bucket against Brooklyn to ice him, man. So again, brother, the floor is yours, man. Just give me your evaluation of Isaiah Collier to this point, man.
I got a cool story actually on him. His coach talked about him and his play. I asked him about. I was like, "Yo, what did you think about Isaiah Collier hitting a career high and a game winner. And he was like, just going through his whole thing. He said his whole life, for the most part, playing ball, right, it's kind of come easy for him, right? He hasn't had to go through a struggle. You know what I'm saying? Anything, like wherever he wanted to go on the court, he could do. Like, you know what I'm saying? There was no adversity for real. So I think it's interesting to see Isaiah go through this, and seeing how he's responding. And he's responding at a very high level. Because remember, he had to go G League for a little while there and play there before they started to call him up. And it was just such a great story that he told, that said like he was even questioning himself, because he was like, I was the number one. Like, you got to think about it. Like, this is a guy we're talking about, number one player in the country overall, right?
Yeah.
A certified lottery pick. He got drafted 30 overall by Utah, right? That says a lot. Didn't expect him to drop that far. He was rated higher than Stephon Castle. Stephon Castle has that great year. He's taken higher than him. So when you see things like that, it does affect your morale and your mentality, but it has not affected Collier, man. So I think it's a great story on him. And just, don't let high school's great, but don't let that be your peak. You know what I'm saying? Find other ways to refine your game and continue to add. I think a lot of players, I'm a 4-star, I'm a 5-star. You know what I'm saying? I'm this, I'm that. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's good because it's leading to your opportunity to play on that next level. But at the same time, that hunger, that fight, that grit that got you to be a 5-star, 4-star, have that same kind of grit when that adversity comes or when you go to college. Don't be complacent and don't be satisfied because you're that. When you get to college, hey, bro, you was up here in high school, you're right back down here, buddy. Okay? You was up here in college, right? You get the NBA, you're right back down here, buddy. You know what I'm saying? You have to reestablish yourself. And that's kind of how life is in any job. You could be high somewhere. You go to a new spot, you got to reestablish, right? You know what I'm saying? You're the big fish in a small pond here, and then you go to the next level. You're a small fish in a big pond. You have to keep reinventing yourself. So I think that's what Isaiah is doing. Phenomenal game winner against Brooklyn, and he says that him and his coach and Coach Thompson said this, that they talk regularly. You know what I'm saying? And that is so cool to see him continue to be a mentor and an impact in that kid's life, even in him being a grown adult and an NBA player. You know what I'm saying? And I love that coaches do that. They don't just think, okay, I coached you, yeah, you're done in high school, it's over, but still being a mentor and telling him the things that can help him and he needs to do in order to continue to be effective, and it's working out. So, I mean, love stories like that.
Definitely, ladies and gentlemen. That reminds me of the old David Goggins. One of his sayings is I can't remember what it is exactly, but starting back at square one, you gotta fall in love with that process, like Naj just alluded to, man. Just gotta, I guess, being yourself. It's not a good feeling going from you're the man to being like, who is this guy, man? Can he really do what he said he's going to do? I've seen what he's done before, but can he recreate that and be that? That's what you just got to fall in love with, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to really love the grind, really love the ugly, and going back to the pretty. And when you get to the point where you're on your top tier, you know what I'm saying, man or woman or whatever that is how can you do that at that level? What David does, if you kept up with him, he does what does he do? Firefighter work. So to be a guy, you know what I'm saying, who can make probably 6 figures doing a speaking gig, to go from that environment and to go, you know what I'm saying, dig ditches and fight fires, you know what I'm saying, also an EMT, you know what I'm saying, to get back down to the nitty-gritty. That's what it's going to take, you know what I'm saying, to keep yourself sane and keep yourself chasing that hunger, chasing greatness. But back to Isaiah, man, averaging 4.3 points per game, 2.6 rebounds, big guard, and 4.4 assists. Very solid, I believe. Saying 35, I stopped saying 35.8% from the field, averaging on the road, he's averaging 19 minutes per game. Last 10, he's averaging 25 minutes per game, averaging 6.6, almost a steal a game, doesn't foul a lot. 43% from the field. So I like where he's going, man. I always liked Isaiah Collier during his time at Wheeler, big body guard, big body bends, and he's gonna take you to that back end if you know what I'm saying, if he ain't guarding correctly. But I like Zay. I believe all the Georgia stars are turning that corner. Scoot Henderson performing well in Portland. Dang it, I just did it again. But, you know what I'm saying? I said all that to say, man, just the talent that comes out of Georgia is elite. Jabari Smith does a great job. Colin Sexton also got to be another mentor.
Walker Kessler.
Walker Kessler on the same team. I like how they built that team. A lot of local guys under one roof. That's big. That'll conclude the basketball topic, man. You got anything to say to the people before we get out of here?
Nah, not too much, man. Obviously, it'll be a great weekend for hoops. You enjoy your MLK holiday on Monday. It's a lot going on. You got national championship for football. President's getting inaugurated, and obviously MLK Day. So a lot going on Monday.
And my mom's birthday. I had to put that out there.
Yeah, mom's birthday. There you go.
Happy early birthday, Mom. Thank you. Thank y'all for tuning in. Again, we are here every Thursday at 7:15. 7:15 to 7:30. If we have something pop up, we'll definitely keep y'all updated on Twitter. But thank y'all for watching. And don't forget to spin on us on Tuesday, 7:15, same time, same network. We're talking football, and we're gonna give you all our thoughts on a Monday show. Can Notre Dame get it done, or will they fall victim to the high-power Ohio State defense and offense? That's why you tune in to hear our perspective and get our intuition. So thank y'all for tuning in. As always, it's just sizzling news and peace and love.